Shalom. First and foremost, I want to begin by giving all honor, all praise, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashum, Yahushai, Bahashum, Arachak, Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and citations to the tabernacle of David, the old four elect, scattered abroad across the four winds of the earth. Now, you know, we at the end of Esau's rule. You know, when you have, people coming on these platforms and they're just discussing things that we've been bringing out, starting with the elder apostles on down, things that we've been bringing out about the wicked elite and, the wicked agendas, all right, that they're enforcing, and is now starting to become, a thing discussed casually on these platforms. Now, this professor, Jean Quinn, I think he's a historian, a writer, and a geopolitical theorist. He's Moabite out of Canada, but I think his origin is in Beijing. But in his video, where they're actually interviewing him, he's known for making bold predictions on this administration and how they would be moving. He predicted that Trump would actually get in and then start a war with Iran. Then he also said that they would not win this particular war. But Trump is actually throwing his eggs in this particular basket, because he has incentive, based on the elites that are sponsoring him to do what he's doing. So he has to win over their best interests. All right. So that means to fuck over, his own people, the people of his own country, in their interests, to win over the interests of the globalists. But anyway, he's gonna start cooking here. I want to play it, from this standpoint. This is towards the end of the video. This is 13 minutes, 5 seconds in. All right, yeah, you Edomites, man. The jig is definitely up. So without further ado, let's listen.
Right. So Miriam Adelson, a few months back, said that she will put up $250 million if Trump were to run a third term. So Trump is getting a lot of financial and political support from the Saudis and Israelis. Also remember that if this war goes sideways and Trump is forced to use ground troops, he will probably get approval from Congress, and this will give him emergency war powers, which will allow him to influence the midterms. So Trump is thinking about a third term, and I think at the ballot box he probably won't get it.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much a wrap, right? He knows he's fucked at the midterms. Nobody is approving of what he's doing. He's completely controlled by the Zionists, and they know this by now. So they're not gonna stick by him. These people are no longer trusting him. You see MAGA, they're changing their mind, they're changing their tune. All right. And it's causing a divide within the country. All right. And that's part of this place falling. The Lord said, a kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. All right. But I don't think he cares much anymore. All right. He didn't came thus far. And the decisions that he's made, he's all the way in. He's in deep. So there's no turning back now. So he got to please his Zionist overlords. So let's continue.
But if there's a war going on and you can delay elections and you have emergency war powers and people will rally around the flag, then he probably will get a third term. And the last factor that is very important is the eschatological factor, where if you look at the Epstein files, it's clear that we are run by secret societies. It's clear that the world is run by these individuals who have a lot of power. We don't know who they are, but they control the military. They control the national security apparatus. And these people, there are different names for these people. You can call them the Illuminati. And the Illuminati are composed of three major groups. Okay, you have the Jesuits who control the Vatican. You have the Sephardim Frankists, which control the modern state of Israel today. And you have the Freemasons, which control the national security apparatus of the United States. And they believe that Israel, this war in the Middle East, is key to the end times in creating heaven on earth. So it's almost like a script that they're following, even though it doesn't make any geopolitical sense. Okay, so
Hey, he breaking it down. All right. There's a reason why, that land is so important to them, even though they're not the true inheritors. All right. Because the Lord didn't make a promise to Esau to give that land as an inheritance for them. All right. And that's why, the Lord, he's using that land as a bait switch, to basically draw all those nations over there to fight. And so these devils, they feeling entitled to have that land in their possession so that they can actually control and dominate the world. And that's what this whole thing about, taking down the Iranian regime is all about, is so that they can posture themselves and have better dominance, over that region in the world. It's just that Iran is in the way. All right. So this is Joel 3:1. It says, "For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, and I will gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people." And that word plead is in the Hebrew is shapah, which means to judge. He's going to judge them. He says, there for my people and for my heritage, Israel. Because the people of Israel, they're scattered, and still this day in their captivity. All right, still being oppressed. Okay. And Israel, Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. It just so happened that, that region, the Levant, the Fertile Crescent, was given to Israel, starting with our forefather, patriarch Abraham. Okay. So the people that are over there, they have no business being there, but they're fighting for it. It says, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land, meaning they divided it up amongst themselves. And you got the UN partition plan, going back to the early 1900s. And that's how they was able to, devise this plan to, put Amalek on one side and the Arabs on the other side. All right. So they might think that they're able to take the land for themselves and act like they're the chosen people. They're basically just posturing themselves. All right. Imposters acting like they, in fact, received the birthright, but clearly you sold it. So the Rothschilds, which means shield of Esau, are trying to claim, what was supplanted from them. And I believe that's what this all boils down to. Okay. But anyway, going back to the video. So he's pretty much casually saying what we always knew, right? That this world is ran by a evil, wicked council of devils. All right, the Edom, the Dukes of Edom, which are the high ranking or hierarchical Edomite families that pretty much control and own everything in the world. So they're trying to X out Persia so that they can, have domination over that region. So let me run it back.
who where if you look at the Epstein files, it's clear that we are run by secret societies. It's clear that the world is run by these individuals who have a lot of power. We don't know who they are, but they control the military. They control the national security apparatus. And these people,
and this is all just, casual speaking. This is information that everybody can just, they're privy to. All right, and let me get that in Luke, and this is what the Lord said. And this is all have to come out for the sake of this devil being exposed. Luke 8:17, it says, "For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad." All right, and this truth, it has to come abroad before the Lord brings this current world to an end. This truth has to it has to come abroad and be made known. Okay.
Names for these people, you can call them like Illuminati. And the Illuminati are composed of three major groups. Okay, you have the Jesuits, who control the Vatican. You have the Sephardim Frankists, which control the modern state of Israel today. And you have the Freemasons, which control the national security apparatus of the United States. And they believe that Israel, this war in the Middle East, is key to the end times in creating heaven on earth. So it's almost like a
and that's why the prophecies say, when you go to Ezekiel, the 36th chapter, they say that, this land is ours in possession. Yeah, Ezekiel 36:1, it says, "Also thou son of man, prophesy unto the mountains of Israel, and say, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord power, because the enemy have said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession." All right. So they're trying to stake, their claim of ownership, because that's the most fertile and, the most resource rich land in the world. That's pretty much the garden. All right. You go eastward in Eden, you right there. And Esau, he wants to make that the hub of his empire. But the Lord is looking down on him, and the Lord is getting ready to make moves. It tells you that in Psalms, the 33rd chapter, around the 10th verse, that he maketh the counsel of the heathen come to naught. And that's why the Lord's going to disrupt his whole enterprise. Psalms 33:10, it says, "The Lord bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught. He maketh the devices of the people of none effect. The counsel of the Lord standeth forever, the thoughts of his heart to all generations." So ultimately, it's the Heavenly Father that's in control. These devils ain't in control of anything. They're just fulfilling prophecy. So yeah, he's just, hey, they bringing it out, man. All right, and the vulnerability is starting to become exposed as well. Because they position themselves as, these, higher up, invincible, we can't be touched, we're too powerful. They've carried themselves, under that image for so long, but they started this operation in Iran, and this shit is all backfiring, and the world is paying attention. You see? So it's only a matter of time, man. All right, and Esau, you can't hide yourself. It's over with. This is Jeremiah 49 and verse 10. And it says, "But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not." All right, and you're getting that shameful spewing, every which way. Everybody's going in. So let me finish this out, and then we'll close.
That they're following, even though it doesn't make any geopolitical sense. Okay, so I would say that these three are the best reasons why this is happening.
Wow.
And he said they're following the script. Yeah, they basically their own script, right? Because they're not the people of the Most High, and neither do they have the promise of the inheritance, because that was never given to them. Okay, so yeah, man, it's he's on his way out, man. That's all we can say. All right. And I'm gonna end off on that. I'm gonna give all honor, all praise, and glory to Yahweh Shem Shai, and to the next one, Shalom.